Hey guys, what is up? Josh Short here from Edit Video Faster. I recently completed a freelance video editing project like 2 weekends ago, and it was short and simple and effortless. And I just wanted to talk through a couple things that I did, so that if you're a freelance video editor or you're thinking about becoming one, you might find these tips helpful or might be able to relate to what I did here for this project. So just a little bit of background. I have a 9 to 5. My wife has a 9 to 5. I don't need a freelance, thankfully. This is vacation money and beer money that I'm making with this kind of stuff. Uh, so actually, about a year and a half ago, so right before my son was born, I decided I'm done freelancing for you know, the foreseeable future, like done. Just want to focus on him, focus on the family, everything that goes along with being a new parent, and then get a pandemic thrown at you. So it's been quite a journey. Um, and actually, it was funny, a couple weeks ago, just starting to think about 2021. I was like, all right, 2021, I want to start doing a little bit of freelance again, maybe some freelance writing or a couple, small editing gigs. Actually, just like the one that popped up in my inbox. So, just gonna change the guy's name. So let's call him Vlad. So Vlad reached out to me. He lives on a Caribbean island. We'll leave it at that. And he said, "Hey, I'm new at After Effects. I have a couple things I can't figure out how to do in my project. Would you be willing to work on it?" So I responded. I have no idea how this guy found me. I'm assuming he looked up, something about After Effects template because I have a page on my website. What is an After Effects template and explains it. And, just through other, things, maybe he was trying to figure out through a tutorial and decided to reach out to me. I don't know. I'm glad he did. Where was I? So I wrote back to Vlad. I said, "Hey, send me over the project. I have a little bit of time this weekend." He emailed me on a Thursday. I said, "I have a little bit of time this weekend," and it was due the following Thursday. So I knew time was tight, and I didn't have a lot of time during the week, so I knew I had to get it done this weekend if I was going to do it. Asked for the project, any of the assets that were going to be in it, and told him, "Hey, my rate is 65 an hour. This is all over my website. I've talked about it here a bunch of times. That's what my hourly rate is." You know, and I didn't say, "You got any problems with that?" I just left it at that. And I said, "Let me take a look at everything. Let's talk, and I'll give you an estimate." So he sent me over everything. Friday, the next day, we set up a call, and I perused through the After Effects project, and I looked through his notes of what he was trying to figure out how to do, and him, being new to the video world, this guy's not an editor. Um, he said, "I'm trying to do these things." Kind of had to translate it from non-video speak to video speak, and over back to him in non-video speak, so he could understand what I'm trying to say. Um, and I said, "Yeah, this is probably gonna take me about half a day, so let's call it 4 hours. So, 4 times 65, $260. And kind of a key takeaway here is, you know, I I told him, hey, if I think I'm gonna go over this, or if I, once I start editing and I realize, oh hey, there's a lot more work to do, I'll let you know before I go over that amount. Or when I'm close, maybe I'm 3 hours in and I think, oh man, I got at least like 3, 4, 8 hours left, because it's really hard to know until you're like really in there getting into it. And he seemed to be cool with that. And so after we talked, I sent him an email. I said, "All right, so I'm doing this. And when we talked and we went through the project together, he realized he wanted a couple other things too. So I added those, in this bulleted list. Doing all these things, another line of, my pay is 65 an hour. I'm estimating at 4 hours. I'll let you know if I'm going to go over, yada, yada, yada. I will, turn it around and give you an After Effects project by Sunday night. Because I also told him, hey man, like you can pay me to export this thing, or I can walk you through how to export this thing while we're talking on this call. Um, and he appreciated that. So maybe that's something that you might want to do too. Render time is something that's it's kind of a delicate subject, and I talked about it on my podcast before with Nick, and I will not remember that episode. So it's somewhere in there, somewhere in the archives of do you charge for exporting? And for me, I'll charge maybe a half rate or a third of my rate when I'm exporting. Because this thing, and I ended up just exporting it for the heck of it because I wanted to see it in real time, so I will get to this, but like Saturday night, I spit it out and it took like 5 hours. But, my computer was asleep. I didn't charge the guy, but I did want to see it so I can, make sure I'm delivering him, something that was timed out well. Because, it's hard to tell, in After Effects doing just the RAM preview and, 30 seconds at a time, 40 seconds at a time, just the whole piece put together, which ended up being like 7 minutes. So, anyway, I digress. So back to my list, every single thing I was going to do in there and said, this is my estimate, blah, blah, blah. Do you agree to this? And he wrote me back, yes, like, let's get going. And, you know, um, it's a little risky not doing like a contract. And that's not something I typically do. I don't really work on projects when I'm freelancing like that require that type of contract. They're usually much smaller, and I have a relationship with these people. And this is a great, first time project with a client. Most of my first time projects, I like to do something small, just like this. Because, at the end of the day, what am I at? 4 hours of work. I mean, it's not the end of the world. And on top of that, if this was a larger project, if this is going to take me a week to do or a couple weeks to do, I would have said, I need a quarter of the payment up front or I need half of the payment up front. But again, it's 260 bucks. I mean, yes, I know that's a lot of money for a lot of people. But for me, at the end of the day, like, I was willing to roll the dice, just because I do think there is a little bit of like it's a trust factor, and I think I was trying to be very trusting of this person, and yeah, I mean I've been burned before in other things, not necessarily nobody ever not paid me in the video world, but it's definitely easy to get taken advantage of. I'm digressing a little bit from this project. But for me, I rolled the dice, and yes, spoiler, he ended up paying me. It worked out just fine. So, all right, so that was on Friday. We agreed to everything. He needed to actually send me over a couple other things. So Friday night, I said, hey, make sure you get all this to me because I'm going to work on Saturday morning. So Saturday morning comes along. I get in there. I spend about 2 hours. I do basically everything on his list. And then I realized, like, man, like this After Effects template's all sorts of jacked up. And he also jacked up a bunch of things just because he didn't know what he was doing in there. He's brand new to After Effects, trying to, make changes and retime things. And yeah, of course he's going to screw something up. I started going through it and I'm like, I should really change this stuff. And I was basically done with what he wanted at 2 hours. But I sent him, I spit out a couple clips, put them on Screenlight. It's a video review service like Frame.io. So I use Screenlight, use my little free 1 gig account I have set up on there. And I said, hey, like, take a look at these, couple things. And do you want me to fix this? I really think it would make it look a lot better. Because it was like weird, like text that like popped on and off. And it's like, I don't know what kind of After Effects template you bought or where you bought it from, but it wasn't one of the better ones I've worked with. It just wasn't clean. There was a lot of like jerkiness to it. And not like in like a like in a way that was meant to be jerky. Does that make sense? So he looked at the clips and said, yeah, I agree. And I told him, a couple other things, like, I think you should do this. This might look a little better. And he's like, yeah, you've been spot on so far. Go ahead and do it. I was like, cool. So I spent like Saturday night before I went to bed because I was waiting for him to get back to me. So I just made a couple tweaks, spent maybe like half an hour on it, hit export, like I said a minute ago. Then Sunday morning rolls around. I take a look at it. I'm like, you know what? I need to retime this. This isn't good. And I'm only sitting at 2.5 hours right now. And, I hope you guys know that, I'm not going to lie about time that I spent on something. And especially if we're talking a half an hour, like, trust, like that is like the thing that you need with your clients. And, sure, you can fib by a half an hour or an hour. They'll probably never know, but you'll know. And I think eventually that catches up to you. Maybe, right away, you'll get away with it, but maybe you'll slip up and I don't know. Just tell the truth, guys. It's not that hard. Sunday morning rolls around. I'm at 2.5 hours. I'm like, all right, I got to retime all these comps. It was like 30 comps in there, but I knew what I was doing is just a little monotonous. And it took me an hour and a half. Like, I was spot on. This thing took me 4 hours to do. I was really proud of that. And when I gave that estimate, like, I knew, like, okay, this is probably going to take me 2 hours. Um, what if I find something that I don't know how to do? Just, you guys know, like, I'm not a After Effects guru. Like, I know what I'm doing in there, but, like, I'm gonna come across something that I gotta go look up, or whatever. I may not be able to figure out how to do that right away. Um, which is fine. That's all part of being an editor. You never know. You don't know what you don't know. And then I figure, all right, let's just add on another hour just for wiggle room. Just because. Um, and yeah, lo and behold, like, hit that 4 hours exactly. So Sunday, morning, just like I said, I told him by Sunday night. So Sunday morning, sent him over the After Effects project and said, hey, here you go. Like, remember how, and I was like, remember how I explained to you how to export. I even went one step forward and I did a little Camtasia video, and said, hey, and just, without any audio, and just like, click here, click here, click here, hit encode. So then ended up Sunday night, just because, you always want to under promise, over deliver. So, I told him I wasn't going to export it, want him to do it. And also just, just from, my own philosophy, I want to teach people how to do things. So I wanted this guy to know how to export something. And especially if, it comes around on, Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, the day before he needs to give this thing, off to his, people. What if there's something wrong and I can't get to it? He's going to need to go on that After Effects project, fix it, figure out how to fix it, and then export it. And also, I didn't want that pressure on me to have to potentially do that on like a Tuesday, Wednesday night, when I'm busy and don't want to do freelance work. Um, so again, another tip or hopeful takeaway, you can hopefully something you can take away from this: under promise, over deliver. So just an example of that was, I told him Sunday night, got it to him Sunday morning. And honestly, I actually thought it was going to be Sunday night, but I ended up getting it to him Sunday morning, which was awesome. And then I ended up exporting out the file Sunday night and gave it to him Monday morning, which he was really thankful for. And just, I shot him an email and, knew his thing was due Thursday. And when we had talked initially on Friday, I said, hey, can you pay through PayPal? Is that cool? He said, yeah, that works, which is my preferred way to work with people. It's just through PayPal. It's just easy for me. So, like Tuesday, sent him, my invoice, wrote up my invoice, sent him the link to PayPal, said, hey, pay me when you can, like no rush, man. And then, yeah, that was it. Friday, got a email from him saying, awesome, everybody loved it, just sent the payment, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I got the confirmation from PayPal, and yeah, got a little bit of, money in the bank for spend on holiday presents. So yeah, that's it. A lot of rambling. Hopefully the one shot of just me on the couch didn't bore you guys too much, and in post I jazzed it up a little bit. But hope you found this helpful. Short little editing project. Put a little change in my pocket, and really happy with it. It was fun, and maybe, just maybe, this guy's going to use me for other projects in the future. Who knows? I might never talk to him again. Or, every year he comes around at this time, hey, I need another one of these videos made, or, hey, we're doing this project that's kind of similar to this. Do you want in? I enjoyed working with you last time because I trust you. And I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, I have a post on my website about, networking fundamentals for video editors. And if I'm remembering correctly, one of the things that I harp on there about is just being genuine, and being yourself. And, hopefully you want to be trusting, and want people to trust you. So, that's kind of, I guess, the big takeaway here is, when you work with clients, especially new ones, make it so that they trust you. Be honest, and make sure that you wow them at the end of the day. And hopefully I did do that, and it seems like I did. The guy didn't know what he was doing and needed an answer, and needed a video professional to fix his After Effects project, and that's what I did. So that's it, guys. Hope you found this helpful. If you want to see more little talks like this one, I know when I was doing these, a little more regularly, when I was walking around with Peyton, who's over there right now, walking around waiting for me to take her out for her evening walk. I was getting a lot of messages. Hey, I love just the real stuff, from the real world. I do know I don't get the kind of views that a tutorial usually does. But anyway, this channel is for you guys, and if you guys enjoy this, please let me know, and I'll try and do more videos like this one in the future. Anyway, stay safe out there, and see you guys around. All right, bye.